All right, let's just jump right in. You know that feeling, that little voice in the back of your head that whispers, something's wrong with me, I'm just not enough? Well, we've all been there. And today, we're going to talk about a really powerful way to deal with that exact feeling, inspired by the incredible work of psychologist and teacher Tara Brach.
Wow. This quote from Wendell Berry, it just hits you, right? It perfectly nails that universal anxiety, that sudden cold feeling that you don't belong, like you missed some secret memo that everyone else got. That feeling is exactly what we're getting into today. So, Tara Brach actually has a name for this. She calls it the trance of unworthiness. And think about that word, trance. It's like you're caught in a bad dream you can't wake up from. You're always struggling, always fighting against something, feeling totally flawed and alone. And the worst part, it feels so real. And this trance, it usually starts way back when we're kids. There's this great story about a little 5-year-old girl in a restaurant. She tells her parents she wants a hot dog, but her dad says, nope, you're having meatloaf. But then the waitress comes over, leans down, and asks her, so, hun, what do you want on that hot dog? And after the waitress walks away, the little girl gets these big, shining eyes and just whispers, she thinks I'm real. It's such a simple story, but it shows how much we need to feel seen. When that doesn't happen, those little seeds of I'm not enough start to grow. So our first instinct, right? When that feeling of unworthiness pops up, we fight it. We try to ignore it, push it down, prove it wrong. But here's the big question. What if that struggle is actually the problem? What if the only way out is to do something that feels completely backwards? And that's where this idea of radical acceptance comes in. It's the path to waking up from that painful trance and actually starting to live. Just look at the difference here. On one side, you have the trance. It's all about fighting, judging yourself, and running away from fear and shame. But on the other side, with radical acceptance, it's the total opposite. It's about allowing, having compassion for yourself, and get this, actually turning toward the fear. It's a massive shift in how you relate to, well, everything inside you. Okay, we need to be super clear on one thing, because it's a huge misconception. Radical acceptance is not the same as giving up. It's not saying, well, I guess I'm just a disaster, nothing to be done. Not at all. It's about having the guts to look at what's really going on inside, the anxiety, the shame, whatever it is. And instead of beating yourself up about it, you just hold it with a bit of kindness. So you might be thinking, okay, this sounds good, but how do I actually do it? Well, the starting point, your first move, is something called the sacred pause. And it's so simple, you can do it literally anywhere. When you feel that stress rising first, you just pause. Stop what you're doing. That's it. Then you feel. Turn your attention inside. What's going on in there? Is your chest tight? Are your thoughts racing? No judgment. Just notice. And the last step is to soften. Kind of let your shoulders drop, relax that tension around the feeling. You're not trying to make it go away, you're just letting it be. And this next metaphor is so powerful. In bullfighting, there's this place in the ring called the querencia. It's this one spot where the bull feels safe and grounded. When he's there, he stops just blindly reacting and he regains all his power. As long as he's just charging around, the matador has the upper hand. But in his querencia, he's unstoppable. And that's what the sacred pause is for us. It's our querencia. It's where we stop reacting and find our true strength. Okay, so the sacred pause creates space. But what do we do with all the, junk that comes up in that space? This leads us to a really radical part of this whole practice, welcoming our inner demons. What happens when it's not just a little bit of stress? What about when the big stuff shows up? That deep shame you've carried for years, that raw fear of being abandoned, the really ugly stuff. What then? In Buddhism, there's a name for all this stuff. It's personified as a character called Mara. You can think of Mara as the CEO of your inner demons, the embodiment of all your fears, doubts, and addictions that keep you stuck. Now, normally, what do we do with demons? We fight them, right? We try to slay them. But this path, it suggests something totally different. Instead of grabbing a sword, you just look at Mara and say, hey, I see you. And then, and this is the craziest part, you offer him a cup of tea. Think about that. You're meeting your deepest fears not with aggression, but with hospitality. It's a game changer. This reminds me of an amazing story about a Tibetan yogi named Milarepa. He comes back to his cave, and it's swarming with these horrifying demons. So he tries everything to get rid of them. He yells, he prays, he does everything he can think of, but they just laugh and get bigger. So finally, he just gives up fighting. He walks over to the biggest, scariest demon of them all, and he sticks his head right inside its mouth. Total surrender. And in that exact instant, they all disappeared. The lesson is just so profound. When you stop fighting your demons, they have no power over you.
So where does all this lead? I mean, what's the ultimate outcome of pausing, turning toward the pain, and offering your demons tea?
It leads to this beautiful message from a teacher named Bapuji. It's about finally learning to stop breaking your own heart. Every time you judge yourself, you're doing just that. This whole practice, it's about building a true friendship with yourself, so you can finally see the goodness that was there all along, hiding under that trance of unworthiness.
All right, so let's wrap this up with the big takeaways. First, that feeling that something's wrong with you, it's called the trance of unworthiness, and pretty much everyone feels it. Second, the way out isn't fighting, it's radical acceptance, turning towards your experience with kindness. Third, your go-to move is the sacred pause. It's your entry point. And finally, remember to offer your demons tea. Meeting them with compassion is what makes them disappear. So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. In your own life, right now, what is it that you're fighting? What difficult feeling, what situation, what part of yourself have you been trying to get rid of? And what if that one thing is just waiting for you to stop fighting and to just accept it so it can finally start to heal?